Ica, hari ini ngobrolin apa?
Hari ini kita ngobrolin tentang beauty standard. Hello everyone, welcome back to PadaNgobrol, to our first episode, and I'm your host Ica.
And I'm your co-host Indira, and in our very first episode, we are going to be talking about beauty standards. Yay!
This episode is a special episode. We will dissect the different elements within Indonesian beauty standards specifically. But before we get into today's discussion, we would like to introduce to you all our guest on this episode, Kak Akila, Priyanka, Isyaradia, Irwan. Hello Kak, halo Kak Yanka. Enggak, halo Yanka.
Hi everyone, hi Ica and Indira. My name is Yanka. Kalian bisa panggil aku Yanka aja, nggak usah Akila Priyanka Isyaradia Irwan. Itu terlalu panjang kayaknya. My nickname itu Yanka. I'm 16 years old and gue kelas 2 SMA gitu. And I'm also part of the PadaPemoeda.
Yes, very, very nice. So we're very excited to have Yanka here today because she is our founder and she's very excited to join this episode and she really wanted to join the first episode of PadaNgobrol, so we had to say yes karena kalau nggak nanti kita di kick out gitu kan that's not very good.
Gue paksa Indira dan
kita dipaksa.
Iya. Nggak apa sih, kita juga senang jadi
bribe.
Gitu. So, Yanka, how do you feel to be here today?
Mixed emotions sih. Senang tapi juga kayak rada deg-degan gitu.
Yes.
Are you, so far, do you think we're doing a good job?
Yeah.
Very good job. Kalian introduction episode juga bagus kok.
Really proud.
And pasti everyone is excited to hear from Yanka. So let's just, before we get into the deeper discussion, we're going to have a little session of ice breaking. Nah, if you guys know about Yanka lagi suka banget baca buku, likes to read books. Jadi we're going to be talking about books and also books recommendations.
Yay!
I personally am reading, I'm going to show you guys. I'm reading Sherlock Holmes. So langsung give the spotlight to Yanka, so Yanka could give you all recommendations of the book she's reading. Go ahead.
Okay. I just finished reading philosophy namanya. Ini kayak how you handle failure gitu and how you can change your mindset about failure. And now I'm reading The Body. Tapi ini aku baru dua page, jadinya I can't say anything about it dulu. Itu.
Baru 2 page.
Baru 2 page.
So for me, I don't want to disclose what I'm currently reading, but I'll give you a recommendation. So this book I finished a couple months ago, but it's basically like a duology. So it's a series, a mini-series. It's The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and its sequel, which is The Testaments, and it's super, super good in my opinion. It's like super cool and it's like quite dark and it may be heavy for some people, but I think the underlying feminist message in it is super, super good. So yes, go check it out.
Yes.
Kalau recommendation, ini tahu, like so many people have asked me for like the book recommendation, tapi I cannot, kayak aku nggak pernah bisa kasih karena kan semua orang kayak interestnya juga beda. Misalnya kayak look at Indira, Ica, and me kayak kita bertiga beda.
Betul.
Makanya kayak aku lebih suka towards yang ke memoir dan non-fiction dan advice, self-help and everything else. Ica dan Indira mungkin lebih suka fiction, fantasy dan lain-lain kayak. Jadi aku tuh kalau kasih orang kayak rekomendasi, aku selalu kasih this one book namanya When Breath Becomes Air. Itu tentang neurosurgeon and neuroscientist. Dia itu jadi kayak dia jadi dokter, tapi dia jadi patient juga. Jadi kayak reverse role gitu. It's really good. It talks about the meaning of life. Gitu.
Very good.
Sama palingan Atomic Habits.
So that's it for our mini small ice-breaking session. Let's go into our first segment. Beauty standard in Indonesia particularly is quite a sensitive topic and one that is apparent in this country society. It is not hard to notice the degree that people, especially youth, put out in order to fill the standards. But with the progressive step that today's youth are heading towards, the standard beauty in Indonesia have changed. It has been shaped to become much more modern and diverse. So with that, let's ask Yanka, what do you think are the main beauty standards in Indonesia?
I think that before diving into that question, I just want to say kalau beauty standards is always evolving, it's always changing karena ya we live in a world that's not kayak masih kayak evolving and everything else. Jadi pastinya it's always changing. But for now, untuk Indonesia's main beauty standards, from what I've seen in social media, TV, iklan-iklan bahkan dan lain-lainnya, is that ya kulit putih, kurus, mukanya glowing, terus mungkin rambutnya juga yang kayak panjang, lurus, dan gitu-gitu sih.
Ya itu, I think those standards are generally talking like super opposing to what most Indonesian people are. Karena nggak kebanyakan sih, tapi ya beberapa dari kita kan kulitnya ya gelap gitu, and we have curly hair like me gitu, so you know. And
Itu
so
aku juga, aku curly
iya kan,
juga,
makanya
natural hair.
it's not exactly like super straight, and I just want to kind of ask, do you think that those standards are set by like Eurocentric features, and do you think Eurocentrism has an effect on our standards, and why do you think that is gitu loh? So Eurocentrism is basically or Eurocentric features are features that are most commonly seen in white people. So contoh like kulit putih gitu, or straight hair, or maybe people who are generally more skinny. I think those features are quite Eurocentric if we're talking about Indonesia standards. So yeah, what do you think, Yanka?
I think that pastinya iya sih. Pastinya karena kayak kita tuh kayak beda banget juga dengan orang-orang luar, dengan kayak UK people, terus kayak Americans karena we live in a country yang emang tropical, bisa dibilang tropical juga kan. Jadi ya pastinya kayak beda banget sama Amerika dan UK. Jadi ya for sure it's affected by the Eurocentrism sih.
Yeah, how do you think kayak gimana caranya standar Indonesia sampai segininya ke efek with Eurocentrism?
I think like one of the main reason itu sebenarnya social media. Karena social media tuh bisa dipakai dengan orang lain dan kayak now we've like kayak kita punya beauty standard yang unbelievably dan kayak beda banget, yang apa ya, yang kayak mungkin kita aja nggak bisa achieve, kayak kita disuruh kayak dress up like Kendall Jenner and everything like that. Maksudnya kayak Kendall Jenner aja kayak surgery and everything like that, and we all don't have like kayak ya udah sebenarnya kayak beauty standards itu juga untuk apa gitu loh, karena all of us have our own uniqueness, kayak features and everything else yang different from orang-orang, and I feel like we should embrace that, yang seharusnya bukan jadi aib tapi orang-orang mikirnya aib.
I think ya itu mungkin kalau dari bahasa Indonesia jadi kayak aib dan coba ditutup-tutupin. Mungkin other than that, do you find other like issues caused by the beauty standards di Indonesia? Mungkin selain itu yang mungkin skalanya lebih parah atau mungkin ya malah efek hal-hal kecil in our daily life.
On beauty standards in Indonesia as well, I think they glamorize Western standards quite a lot gitu loh. To an extent that's not very good for the people here, because it doesn't resonate with them, and especially kayak contoh because of those media portrayals, products here jadi ke influence juga, jadi ada skin whitening kayak gitu-gitu loh, terus habis itu ada kayak catok rambut sendiri gitu kan lagi banyak di sini gitu, and a lot of people are talking about it, and I see a lot of improvements that people are starting to embrace our standards as it is gitu, but I mean those products are still there, they're still in the market, and so people are still purchasing as well gitu.
there's so many whitening products in the market out there, dan sebenarnya kayak mungkin kalau untuk bikin kulitnya lebih glowing, kayak lebih lebih mulus and everything like that, I think it's okay. Tapi untuk whitening, I think you should embrace your own skin, kayak your color of skin, karena it's nothing that to be kayak malu of gitu loh. Dan untuk kayak catok, kayak my natural hair itu sebenarnya wavy curly gitu. Tapi aku tuh catok bukan gara-gara I wanna fulfill one of Indonesia's main beauty standards, bukan. Tapi gara-gara emang it's my own choice, dan gue mau karena if I do, like I'm more comfortable with my hair kayak dicatok dan bukan kayak di natural gitu, karena pasti semua orang beda-beda gitu. Hey, what do you guys think about Indonesia's main beauty standards? Kata kalian tuh kayak apa aja beauty standards Indonesia yang unbelievably kayak out of the line banget gitu?
White skin people looks more superior in a way that everyone is like, you should look like them and have their features, yang padahal yang kayak kita tuh nggak bisa punya itu. Dan if we do wanna go that way, kayak mau merubah itu kan dari effort, energi kita sendiri, mental health-nya, uang juga terkuras gitu. Apalagi nih di Indonesia ada stereotip dimana kalau kita setiap family gathering pasti tante-tante nanya, kok kamu makin hitam sih, kok kamu makin gendut sih. Itu yang memacu kayak orang Indonesia tuh kayak, aduh, gue harus berubah nih. Padahal kayak nggak itu. Jadi motivasi sama prioritas orang-orang di Indonesia yang malah berubah cuman karena influence dari orang-orang luar. That's me personally. Kalau Indira.
Ya, betul. Kalau gue sih, I agree a lot with Icha's point, and I just want to add a little bit. There's like a couple comments on social media that I've seen yang kayak, oh, kamu kulitnya sama mata tapi masih cantik, kelihatan bersih gitu kan ya. Itu that
banyak banget.
Is honestly so infuriating for me, because it signals that people think that dark skin is like dirty, and like it doesn't look as pure as if people who have white skin gitu. And again, that is definitely fueled by the media and the glamorization of Eurocentric features a lot. And so I think that's one of the main kind of concern regarding Indonesia's beauty standards.
I think that what we don't really realize itu sebenarnya banyak banget gara-gara beauty standards tuh banyak yang bully tentang physical appearance-nya kalian atau seorang lain. Karena kayak banyak banget loh orang-orang yang berkulitnya lebih gelap daripada others dibilangnya kayak mirip monyet, terus kayak mirip animals lain gitu-gitu, kayak it's not nice, kayak beauty standards have a big effect on the bully area gitu.
That's true. Yeah, just to conclude, it really does fuel a lot of other issues as well. So like it causes insecurities and bullying as well. And karena kan one of the main features of bullying is bullying their physical appearance gitu kan ya. And so if someone doesn't fit the standard, it can cause a lot more trouble than they think gitu aja sih. So moving on to segment 2. So beauty standards is known to do more harm than good, as we have discussed earlier. And it is dangerous and can affect a lot of people's self-esteem. And not only that, but the level of, like, I guess, unrealisticness that can cause both damage physically and mentally as well. And it sparks insecurities and adds another layer as to why these standards are highly unattainable. And so I want to ask Yanka here, do you think, as a content creator and as someone who works closely to other people as well, do you think these standards affect the content that you put out for other people?
Sebenarnya I don't know if I do, kayak maybe if I do itu juga kayak not intentional gitu, karena pastinya kayak kalau untuk kayak insecurity gitu pasti gue ada. If I want to make a TikTok terus I'm not wearing any makeup, sometimes I get insecure. Tapi kayak kalau emang I feel good about myself without wearing any makeup, ya kayak I can just make TikTok whenever I want gitu loh. Dan basically kayak I try my best to not to not follow the beauty standards in kayak untuk influence people untuk I try my best untuk nggak influence my audience atau enggak kayak my followers gitu untuk ikutin the beauty standards of Indonesia in any kind of way, karena kayak I just want them pokoknya kayak you udah be confident with who you are aja loh gitu. Tapi kayak if I do kayak I'm really sorry, I don't mean to, kayak itu very unintentional banget gitu.
Ya, pokoknya menurut I think if people do actually try to follow the beauty standard, it's like their own choice juga kan, mereka mau atau enggak. Tapi you as a content creator pasti pernah mikirin dong kayak ini gue kontennya menurutnya impactnya nanti ke orang-orang kayak gimana. Tapi does it ever having that beauty standard may or may not affect the content that you put out?
Ever consider like do you ever consider what effects that you may or may not have, I guess, intentionally or unintentionally give to other people gitu loh?
I try my best not to not to think about that itu lah, karena kayak nggak tahu when I think about it I just feel bad gitu for myself and also for like my audience, karena kayak kalau if I am doing it pasti kayak itu gue unintentional banget, and I don't mean to like kayak put like an extreme and kayak unrealistic beauty standard gitu, tapi kayak misalnya kalau lagi live atau kayak apa, kalau kayak lagi Q&A gitu-gitu, I try my best to untuk selalu kayak 100% honest with my audience. Kayak kalau dia nanya, Kak skincare-nya apa? Kak pakai makeup aja, kayak gue selalu ngomong gue selalu ngomong yang 100% yang apa adanya aja, karena kayak I'm not trying to follow nor am I trying to set unrealistic beauty standard.
It's good that you're very much aware of that gitu, so that your followers juga bisa ke-influence with that and kind of find sort of something relatable with you and apa kayak a higher self-esteem about themselves gitu juga sih.
Tapi kayak gue sempet kayak I got like some comments gitu tentang my teeth, karena kan gue pakai gigi kelinci, tapi kayak kan I have like a gigi kelinci gini kan, kayak dua di depan, tapi kayak when like people pointed out terus kayak I'm okay with my gigi kelinci, I'm totally okay, tapi when people kayak ngomong ya sentence-nya kayak apa their choice of words itu kayak rada mean gitu, gue jadi kayak what's wrong with my gigi kelinci gitu loh. Kayak ada ngomong kayak ih giginya kok kayak gigi kelinci, terus gue kayak ya emang gigi kelinci, tapi what's wrong with that?
It sounds condescending a little bit sometimes.
Iya. Same as yang tadi lo bilang kayak ini kalau ada yang komen kayak ini adalah buktinya kalau kulit hitam tuh juga bisa cantik, kayak itu
backhanded banget gitu loh.
Iya makanya jadi kayak gitu.
Betul. Yeah, and I guess with time people have become more aware as well about these super unhealthy beauty standards, and of course with the help of social media and the many I guess accounts that have been spreading awareness about these beauty standards, but because of that it has filled all the space for personal growth gitu, other than accepting and embracing yourself, which is also a part of personal growth, and starting to accept who you are. And so many people have been contributing to reconstruct beauty standards using these platforms and or like their personal branding or like posts and informational stuff and reshare. So what is your relationship with beauty standards then and now after the influence of joining organizations and becoming more aware about all these informations? What do you think is your relationship then and now?
Kalau then itu kayak back then I used to kayak benar-benar ikutin banget the beauty standards. Aku kayak try my best untuk ikutin beauty standards, karena I think relationship juga ada an effect to it, kayak your surroundings, your friends, terus kayak mungkin your family juga, terus especially I think kayak your love relationship gitu kayak punya a big effect on it. Jadi dulu ya aku selalu ikutin, karena aku kayak ya aku dulu mikirnya kayak oh kalau gue jelek cowok gue nggak mau lagi deh sama gue. Jadi kayak I try my best. I try my best untuk ikutin the beauty standards pas dulu. Tapi now, I think gara-gara dulu juga aku kayak belum ada. Aku belum terlalu educated tentang self-love dan self-esteem and everything like that. Jadi aku dulu kayak masih zero knowledge. Jadi aku ikutin aja kayak, ya beauty standards Indonesia. Walaupun kayak nggak perlu juga sih sebenarnya. Ya, and now, aku mikir kalau ya udah kalau ada beauty standards ya udah sana silahkan. How you define your kayak your beautifulness gitu through beauty standards tuh kayak aku udah nggak kayak gitu lagi. Aku define my beautifulness gitu kayak lewat my self love and self esteem aja gitu.
Such beautiful growth gitu kan ya.
Although realistically, I think that beauty standard will always exist. Do you think that if beauty standard doesn't exist, people will become more confident about themselves? What do you think about that?
Karena ini kayak very debatable sebenarnya. Karena I think kalau confident I don't know, tapi kalau tentang self love, I think iya karena maksudnya kayak kalau beauty standards yang ada, it doesn't exist, I think people will kayak learn more about self love gitu karena mereka juga nggak ada pemikiran kalau kalau gue cantik gue tuh harus kurus dulu, kalau gue ganteng gue harus punya abs dulu kayak gitu I think ya nggak tahu sih kalau confident tapi kalau self love I think bakal lebih banyak dan lebih lebih orang-orang bakal lebih aware dan lebih tahu tentang self love kalau beauty standardsnya nggak ada itu. Kalau kalian gimana?
Betul. Ica mau answer?
Kayaknya nggak mungkin sih, nggak mungkin. Tapi kalaupun nggak ada, beauty standards yang hari ini ada, sekarang ini ada, itu walaupun masih nggak sehat, tapi it's also a path buat anak-anak muda untuk nyari jati diri mereka juga kan. I feel like kalau nggak ada beauty standards, itu pasti kayak lost banget nggak sih? Dan justru karena ada variasi beauty standards dari dulu evolving, jadi kita punya variasi dan hal-hal yang untuk kita coba gitu. Tapi kita juga masing-masing harus ngerti kalau kita tuh we have the right to express ourselves and it doesn't have to always follow the beauty standards. Gitu. Indira,
Facts.
you?
No, tadi gue cuma bilang I think if there were no beauty standards, which again I agree with Icha, I don't think there ever will completely be like no beauty standards. I think a lot of people will see other people based on their personality a lot more, and I think that would be very beneficial gitu sih. Cuman I don't know, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Tapi I think a lot of people are paving the way for these beauty standards not to be pressed so harshly onto society gitu sih.
Because if you see beauty standard, it doesn't just apply on the social media or in your daily life, but also in professional life, like jobs, different types of
periklanan.
Semua mereka ada beauty standard masing-masing dan itu juga yang membentuk beauty standards yang sekarang ada di Indonesia gitu. I think that's for me, I guess.
And I think what people don't really realize, even kayak kita, circle dekat-dekat kita and everything like that is, beauty standards tuh bukannya evolved around the girls world doang loh. Kayak di cowok-cowok tuh ternyata juga ada. Kayak cowok-cowok tuh, mungkin gara-gara kayak adanya lebih evolve-nya social media, jadi mereka kayak, gue tuh harus kayak Vinny Hacker gitu. Ya gara-gara kayak jadi cowok-cowok tuh juga kayak lebih banyak kayak mungkin kalau gue lebih kayak si ini cewek-cewek bakal lebih suka gue gitu-gitu. Jadi kayak beauty standards tuh sebenarnya bukan di cewek doang tapi di cowok juga banyak banget gitu.
I think the difference between, I don't know, because I mean I'm a girl, I don't know the perspective of other people, tapi I think based on from what I see that girls kind of have the standard for beauty pressure like externally, tapi kalau boys itu lebih internal sedikit gitu loh, lebih kayak lu harus ini kayak lu harus kelihatan gagah gitu loh, and maybe like by working out Terus cewek kan juga I guess diet gitu loh, atau apa namanya, kulit putih again, and like you have to chop off your hair. Terus cowok-cowok, there's just certain expectations that some I guess girls don't see because they're really like they're worried about their own standards gitu sih. And so it's different juga. And correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really know
The boys
about like
perspective.
boys standards. Yes.
Yeah.
So please feel free to discuss in the comments as well.
Jadi kayak what is your definition of beauty? Bukan beauty standards, tapi kayak definitionnya beauty untuk kalian tuh apa sih?
Being able to call it dressed, dress myself. I forget everything that I do itu I feel comfortable in, and I really consider about my health, like hygiene and etc. Dan menurut aku yang apa itu beauty ya, something yang comfortable, something yang impact people, other people and myself positively, itu sih.
I agree. I think juga my definition of I guess beauty itu I think comes from the inside. Kind of cheesy, tapi I have to agree to that karena I think the personality really makes the person gitu loh, and how you hold yourself is also very important to me, and how you present yourself to other people, and just how comfortable you are kayak Ica gitu, wearing whatever you're comfortable with I think is beautiful in itself gitu, because I guess you're the most radiant when you are comfortable gitu. So yeah, that's what I think. Okay, so we're wrapping up in a little bit, but before we do, we have a couple more questions, and the first one is, I mean, everyone has dealt with their own insecurities before, and so Yanka, how did you deal with yours if it's not too personal for you to answer?
Okay, I can answer it. I struggle a lot with insecurities back then, and even now aku masih. Tapi kayak how I handle with insecurities itu ya biasanya aku curhat dengan teman-teman, terus kayak mereka nanti kayak hype me up gitu. Ica kayak salah satunya pendengar setia. Terus gimana ya, kayak try to remember kayak try to always remember that it's okay to be insecure, dan pasti you're gonna get through it. I think almost everyone. Then I think it's okay to be kayak to feel insecure, tapi just remember that you can go through it gitu. Maybe just kayak curhat sama teman, atau always remember that kayak you're loved gitu loh, kayak lo disayang sama orang, then you will always have your friends and your loved ones gitu untuk support lo dan untuk company you gitu. Itu
very wise words.
Yeah,
I agree.
I do agree.
So kayak everyone tuh suka ngomong kayak, Yan, lu kalau insecure kok berani sih nge-post TikTok? I think that's what like everyone kayak ngomong gitu ke gue, kayak kalau lo insecure kenapa lo berani post TikTok? I think it's because kayak kalau gue post TikTok kayak for funny aja, kayak untuk kayak lucu-lucuan aja gitu loh. It doesn't mean that posting TikTok doesn't mean that gue gak pernah insecure. Ya pasti gue pernah insecure lah, gila aja kalau enggak. And kayak biasanya kayak compliments gitu yang ada di my comment section, it's what kayak makes my day banget. Kayak Yanka, you're very pretty gitu-gitu. Gue kayak salting sendiri di kamar, tau gak sih?
Iya, ketahuan tuh,
Enggak, tapi kayak I'm not being cocky. I don't mean to be cocky gitu loh. Maksudnya kayak emang compliments do make me feel better about myself, and it makes my day juga biasanya. Gitu.
Yeah. And one important thing that I also want to mention itu, please jauhin dari negative self-talk. Itu yang bikin, it will make you really, really insecure karena it comes from yourself, it becomes a mindset. Itu adalah sebuah afirmasi. Jadi selain dari kayak orang-orang lain, input dari orang lain, kalau you guys are beautiful, also try to talk to yourself that you're beautiful, dan dari itu lu bakal bisa nerima diri lo sendiri.
Yeah, manifest the good stuff.
Yes.
Manifest.
Manifest the good stuff.
Yes. So we have talk, udah ngomong banget panjang lebar. Terakhir nih, ada nggak, what message do you wanna give to people who are dealing with this negative effects juga because of the beauty standards?
Okay, this might sound cliche gitu, tapi kayak ini beneran works for me. Kayak just ignore the beauty standards, kayak believe that you're beautiful the way you are. Karena kayak yang determine yang lo beautiful tuh emang lo doang sebenarnya. Kalau if you're confident, if you're comfortable with yourself, people juga bakalan kayak ngeliat, oh ya kayak she's feeling herself gitu, dan lo bakalan lebih kayak apa ya, lebih lu juga bakalan learn how to self love, terus self esteem lo juga bakalan naik dan lain-lain gitu sih. And if you're ever feeling down, just mungkin curhat aja ke teman atau ke parents atau maybe even some counselors, atau our PadaPemoeda IG is always open kalau ada yang mau curhat.
Betul banget.
Aku
Betul banget.
Indira dan Ica, aku
Heeh.
Indira dan Ica bakal dengerin. Kita bakal
Atau
kasih
mungkin self promo, kalian bisa DM kita personally gitu kan ya.
It's
Terus
okay.
nanti
We don't
listeners
bite.
kita di Spotify gimana? Nanti di Spotify kayak IG-nya apa ya guys gitu.
Oh, kayak kita
IG-nya.
mention aja.
Oh, enggak, kalian IG-nya bisa lihat di Meet the Team post. Nanti Ica kan juga bakalan ada di Meet the Team. Jadi look at our upcoming.
Betul,
upcoming
sama
ini.
menis.
Yes, makanya. Jadi just stay tuned
Okay.
for our upcoming Meet the Team post. Karena nanti kalian bisa curhat ke kita lewat situ. DM IG kita. We can be friends.
Seru banget.
Ya mungkin kalian
Yes,
kalau mau curhat juga in the next episode, mungkin in the future episode of PadaNgobrol, kalian bisa jadi guest if you wanna talk about specific topics, pasti boleh banget itu di PadaNgobrol. Oke, makasih banyak. Thank you so much, Yanka, for joining us and sharing your thoughts and experience on beauty standards. Also, thank you for all of you for listening to our first podcast. Don't forget, if you have any more question about PadaNgobrol or any ideas of topics to be discussed, or who you would like us to feature in this PadaNgobrol podcast, you can DM our IG account at PadaPemoeda or leave a comment below, and we will actively update. Oh, don't forget to follow, and see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.